Yo yo, what up YouTube? So I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Tyr. Now the passive stuns, taunts, fears, intoxicate, and mesmerize cannot affect Tyr for longer than 1 second. Really good passive. Now getting on to the orange stance abilities, your 1, it knocks them back and knocks them up. Does 2 instances of damage. Your 2, it just cleaves and does damage. This can hit any number of, it doesn't have a limit on how many gods that you can hit with the 1 or the 2. Now let's get into the 3. The 3, that's the animation. You don't have to have a point in order to change stances, so you can do that at level 1. Now it gives, the 3 gives physical power in orange stance and protections in defense stance. So orange it gives power, blue it gives defense. Now the blue stance, the abilities change. 1 instance of damage and it knocks them up. The 2 heals and it does damage. It can hit a max of 3 things before the healing gets capped. But the 2 can hit any number. It can hit 5 enemy gods, all minions. It doesn't have a limit on how many it can hit. But it is a cleave and kind of a short range. Now, the cool thing with the 1 and the 2 is you can cancel them. Do that. So that's the full duration here. See how far I went. Now canceling it. Much less time, your cooldowns go faster. And you can also do this with the orange stance. Hit them once, do that. So pretty much, if you're a safe player, always try to max the 2. You heal so much with Tyr, it's disgusting. But yeah, now we can move on to the ult, now that I'm level 5. So he jumps up, does a cool animation, slams down, it slows them, and it also does damage. Now this sets up, if you don't have blink, which most of the time in solo lane you don't want to have blink at the start, that's your main initiator. That's the thing that you can gap close to get with your 1 if they have a range solo. You can get behind them, use the 1 to swap stances, do that, and that's his combo. Okay, so we're gonna get into the leveling up, starting from level 1, so that way nobody gets confused, because I think I started off at level 3. But at level 1, if you're in solo lane, I think it's debatable between the 2 or the 1. The 1 clears the wave faster unless you end up hitting the enemy god and stacking up the minions. So if you're good and you think you can do that, then max the 2, because the wave clear difference isn't going to be that big if you do that. But if you want to play safe, the 2 is better in general too, but sometimes I use the 1 just to change it up. It's not that big of a difference. So level 2, you max the 1. Level 3, do the 2. Level 4, if you want, you can skip a point into the... You can skip a point so that way at level 5, you can put a point into your 2 and your ult. Now, from level 6, you want to max your 1, 7, your 2, 8, 1, 9, 2, 10, 1, 11, 1, 12, 3, 13, 3, 14, 3, 15, 3, 16, 3, and then max your ult. Your ult really doesn't have that big of a damage difference once you start leveling it up versus the amount of benefit that you get from your 3 and your 1 and your 2. It's just flat damage and the slow stays the same. The duration stays the same. So never max your ult. Always end up doing that last. Okay, so now we're going to start talking about the items on Tyr. So it ends up being, if you're in solo lane, this is going to be the start that you're going to want to get. Most of the time, this is what I get. I get like 3 health and do that. And then you get teleport. That's kind of how the beginning of the game's going to look. From that point on, if you can get Glad Shield on your first back, that's perfect. If you get a kill and you know that it's a kill lane, you can swap this and go into some straight up damage. But most of the time, you're going to want defense if it's physical. If it's magical, we'll start off with just mainly being up against a physical first, so that way I don't keep swapping items. You go into boots, The safer option here is breastplate, just because you get 30% CDR as fast as possible, really. And then you can go into runic, or if you're a gank monster and you know you feel like your team is winning a bunch and you want to rotate to golds, you can start going into hide here, but that's a super late option. Hide is, it's really rough. You got to pick it early, or if you're really ahead and you know that it's going to be a high kill game. So that item is generally kind of rough to guide people to use. It's a very situational one. So we'll do just cookie cutter stuff. Runic shield's really good if they have physical, solo, magical, jungle, or vice versa. If they have double physical, don't go into double physical, meaning one physical solo and one physical jungle. Don't go runic. It's not going to help you as much. You can go into this option here, void shield after that. And then if they have 2 magical on the enemy team, if they have healing, you can get pestilence, or you can go into, see, I don't know, sometimes I like going more damage. Masamune is really good on Tyr. I don't care what anybody says. The additional movement speed helps you chase people down, and it also helps you get behind them if you don't have your blink up. So I would recommend that. It's a hybrid item. And we're not going to talk about any of the debatable items on Tyr yet, but we will eventually, like CAD Shield and Runeforged Hammer. We'll talk about those and what they do, all about them. And to finish the build off, we'll go anti-heal, like I said, if they have. If they don't, doesn't matter. You could either go Bulwark or Talisman of Energy. This is also another really good item. So underused, the amount of movement speed that you get. It's disgusting. But yeah, so this is how your build would look in a solo lane for Conquest, if you have double physical. Now, let's go into a general build. Very general build. If you're up against a magical, you could still get Glad Shield, but I think Ancile or Runic Shield's really good. And now you gotta get the boots. If it's a physical jungle, you can get that. And then we got, if it's somebody who sustains like Zhong or something, get that online. And then you could get Blackthorns, because you don't have that much. You only have 20% CDR at this point. And then to top it off, Void Shield is just really good on Tyr, man. It gives him so much more damage. It's he doesn't build pen. Tyr generally does not build pen, so this is 2-in-1. This gives you health, physical protections, and basically penetration. It just reduces their protections. So it's really strong on him. But now we're going to get into the debatable items. So let's start that off. The way that you can test this out for yourself is you get an item with 50 physical power, and then like Runeforged here. So Runeforged does 65 and 159. So it does 50 physical. Then you swap over to Masamune, which does 50 as well. No additional damage. So 65 should be the 1, and then 159 should be the 2. 65 times 2, and then 159. You see, Runeforged doesn't do shit. It's pretty funny. The only way that Runeforged works is with the ult, which slows. Now it's doing 75 and 183. Now, just so you guys see that, swapping over to Masamune. Gotta wait a little bit, waiting. Alright, now 65 and 159. So that's the only time that Runeforged is gonna benefit. Now, you could do Runeforged and Frostbound, which is just straight up a meme. The first one, let me show you, 74, alright? So 74 damage. and 172. Now when you auto, it does 86. The 2 doesn't change. So you're only getting the benefit of the 1 extra damage, which in reality it is the most damaging ability in Tyr's kit, but it doesn't get the bonus to your 2. So it kind of sucks. You can do it that way. You can cancel the 1 and then the 2, but at that point you're kind of losing damage, man. So this is super meme. That's one of the debatable items. On to the next one. So the next item that we're going to talk about is CAD Shield. Now, it's a hybrid item. I think it's really good on Tyr, but I'm going to show you my reasoning for it. It's debatable. Some people don't like it. So allied guys within 70 units have their healing from abilities increased by 10%. This right away is just really good on support tier if your team has healing like Rod or something. If you have taken or dealt damage in the last 5 seconds, their healing from abilities is increased by an additional 15%. This does not stack with similar auras. So pretty much the downside to this is Tyr doesn't get a benefit from one of the passives, and I'll show you that in a little bit, but I'm just going to show you the base healing of his 2 at max rank. It's 149 healing. Now I'm going to show you with CAD Shield. That's 194. That's like 45 damage increase or healing increase. Now you got to remember the 2, you can hit 3 targets with it for max healing. So 45 times 3 is 135, so you're getting 135 extra healing. Now I can show you this. You don't get the second benefit from, oh god, you don't get the additional healing when you haven't dealt or taken damage within 5 seconds. So it's 193. I took damage, right? So it's 193. I don't know why it does that actually. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 off. Here we go again. Haven't taken any damage. Still 193. I took damage. 194. The increase does not affect, so you don't get benefits of one of the passives, but that's literally with any god that uses this CAD Shield. But yeah, overall I think CAD Shield is a really good item on Tyr, and I don't know why people knock it. But yeah, if you guys have any items that you would like to see on Tyr in an actual game or something along those lines, let me know. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Let me know if you like videos like this. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.